What's up, beautiful people? This is Pretty Girl Love Trap content. This is my recap slash review for Atlanta season 3, episode 7. Trini to their bone, okay? Trini to their bone. I mean, I know I am not Caribbean. I do not have a great Caribbean accent, okay? I'm just trying to give you guys a little shot, okay? All right, y'all. This was a funny episode. Like, Atlanta, if y'all not appreciating this season of Atlanta, I'm gonna need y'all to do something with yourselves, okay? Because they are dropping a lot of gems, pushing a lot of content. Like they are really saying the damn thing without saying the damn thing, okay? So I'm gonna need y'all to give Atlanta their props, all right? So let's get into it, okay? So this episode, we are in New York of the city, okay? My city, all right? And we see this Caucasian male, and he's, doing what they do. They jogging, okay? They jogging, and he's listening to a trap song, trap music. So your girl was feeling it, okay? Because I love the trap music or what have you. And yeah, he enters his deluxe apartment in the sky. Okay, shout out to the Jeffersons, all right. And so he notices his son is home. So he's like, Bash, like, what you doing here? Okay. And Bash over there living his best life watching the Proud Family. I said, oh yeah, I like Bash. I'm gonna like you, little boy. Okay. So his wife, I believe Browning, she comes in with a little attitude. And he's like, yo, like, where's Sylvia? Where's the nanny? And she was like, I don't know. She's late. Like, oh my God. She's like, I have too much to do. Like, can you take him to school? He was like, that ain't gonna work for me, bruh. So she was like, okay, I'll just take him to school, but he needs to eat breakfast. So she was like, well, I bought him some egg Benedict and he didn't like it. So, of course, Miles, the father, asked, Bash, like, hey, like, come on, eat breakfast. He was like, it ain't no seasoning, it ain't hitting for nothing, bro. I'm not eating this crap. And he was like, okay, what would help? He was like, well, some, curry, and so he notices in the fridge there's some like curry mango in the fridge. So he slops them up on there, and yeah, your boy Bash tore it up, okay? And so Miles tried to taste it a little bit, and he was like, a little too spicy. I was like, oh, a little too fire for you, okay, Miles? Like, yeah. Don't try that at home, kids. So we see Browning taking Bash to school, and she kind of drops him off at the front. He was like, nah, bro, I get the VIP service, okay? Sylvia normally takes me to my class, okay? So, girl, get it together. So she was like, oh, okay. You could tell she probably never took him to school or whatever. I was like, okay, girl. So, fast forward, y'all. I skipped a whole part. My apologies. So right before they left, Miles got a call saying that Sylvia died. And they're like, oh, shocked or whatever, but they decide not to tell Bash at that moment. And so then, they get a knock at the door immediately, and it's a package with Sylvia's name on it. So, he picks it up and then see who dropped it off. So yeah, I apologize for leaving that part out. So fast forward back to the school situation, and yeah, Bash is now at school. So we see Browning, she's in the cab on her way home. She's talking to Miles. So they're discussing the package, and he was like, well, the doorman, didn't see anybody deliver the package. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Okay. And so apparently, the school and the teachers called your boy Miles out. He was like, yeah, do you guys realize that you guys were the only family didn't show up for a picture day? And so they was like, oh, that shouldn't be no big deal. Like, why he gonna call us out? Or she call us out in front of Bash, okay, making us look bad, all right? I'm like, dang, y'all didn't show up for picture day. I mean, I don't know. What y'all think in the comments? Like, some schools I guess have family picture day. Most schools have student picture day. I don't think it's a big deal if they didn't show up for family picture day. I guess it depends on the school because you could go on down to the J.C. Penney or your local photo situation and take your own family photos, all right? And them school pictures be a scam low key, all right? And so I don't blame them. We have so many options now. You got Groupon. You can do whatever you want with your little family photo situation. So I don't know. I was 50-50 when it came to that. And so they also discussed, if they're going to tell Bash, how they're going to tell him. So yeah, they got a lot to discuss, okay? So Brownie gets home and they're really struggling bad to tell Bash the bad news. They tried to compare it to dinosaurs being extinct. I'm like, Mama, what is you doing? She is a whole woman up in here. She is not an extinct dinosaur. Come better, please. Come on. All right. You ain't Google no, suggestions like, how to, explain death to your to your child. Like, girl. Anywho, so they pretty much tell, Bash that Sylvia died, and he pretty much wants to go to the funeral and see her off. And so of course the mom, she ain't really feeling it, and the dad, he was gung ho. He was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it, but you know the mama, I'm not feeling her at all. So she wants to talk about it, okay? Meanwhile, we get a knock at the door, and the package appears again, okay? It's a little more wrinkly, a little more worn out. So he's looking around like he don't see nobody in the hallway. Like, it's getting real creepy at this point, okay, with this whole package situation, okay? And it shows second attempt on there, on red. I'm like, okay, this is kind of spooky. So the next day, Browning, she's over there cleaning up Sylvia's wigs and clothes, just complaining. I'm like, dang, don't you have like no heart? Okay. And so, Miles is like, we can go ahead, drop it off to her family. And he was like explaining to her, the research that he's learned about other cultures and how, most cultures leave the, deceased in the living room so people can, visit the, deceased person and, little send off, if you will, and it's funny because it's called the living room. But he's at least trying. So kudos to you, Miles. You got some cool points. Browning, not so much because she seems like a BI, what, okay? And she's talking about, well, we should have hired, younger and I'm over her. And so later on in bed, they're discussing the whole situation as well. And yeah, she was like, well, we should hire someone, a little more metropolitan, okay? So they were discussing, how Sylvia wasn't cheap, but she wasn't expensive, And so they was talking about how hard it is to find an Asian nanny at this point. So they're trying to figure out their next options. I'm like, dang, the lady ain't even cold yet. And y'all trying to, I mean, I know y'all need a replacement, but I'm just saying, it sounds a little harsh, okay? So Bash come in the room. He's like, I can't sleep. And so Browning takes Bash back to his room. And, he was like, well, Sylvia normally, rubs my back to help me sleep. So she tries to rub it. He was like, in circles, like a circular motion, okay? And she even know how to soothe her own son. I'm like, ugh, child. But Bash, I feel you, Bash, because I be needing my husband to do the same thing to make me fall asleep. So we on the same page, okay? Not like a good old circular back rub, all right? So I'm feeling my boy Bash, okay? He's a cool little dude, all right? So she was like, yeah, what else do you need, honey? He was like, well, she normally sings the Sweet TNT song. He was like, you don't know that song? She was like, no. So it's pretty much a song, about her country because she's from Trinidad and Tobago. And so, of course, she tries to sing a song that she knows it was Bland and Born. I'm like, Browning, I'm gonna need you to step up your lullaby game, okay? Like, girl, get it together, all right? So, y'all, it's funeral time. The family's on their way. I don't even know what borough this is. It could be Brooklyn. I'm sure it's either Brooklyn or Queens, but I really feel like it's Brooklyn because they was complaining like, "Oh, we're out there now. Might as well be in the islands." I'm like, "Oh, excuse me, Mister. We don't leave Manhattan or what have you." Anywho, so they proceed to, pull up and ask some strangers, where the funeral is, but their Sylvia's daughter Khadijah greets them and they're, exchanging pleasantries and condolences. And some of the sayings that Khadijah was saying that her mom normally would say, Bash was kind of finishing them. So it kind of showed that Bash, took a lot of Sylvia's likeness. So it was really cute just seeing that. So Khadijah proceeds to show Miles where to park, okay? So she took him to this little like alley parking lot situation. He was like, okay, can I get out of here? Like, it's a little sketch, okay? And so, no, she was like, no, 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 you're fine. Richie, she got you. I mean, he got you. And Richie is all of like 13, okay? On his phone, not giving a you know what. And she was like, no, it's okay. Just put the keys on the hood and he'll get you. I'm like, not the range. Like, nah, Richie, I'm taking my keys and bruh, make sure my car all right, okay? I would have slid Richie a 50 piece or something, cause yeah, Richie, I ain't trust the little boy. Not with my vehicle. Okay. So they sit down next to a fellow, Caucasian, and they are met also by Devin, okay? And he introduces himself as Sylvia's compare, okay? So it seems like maybe her boyfriend or what have you. So Devin took it upon himself to pretty much put in his application and was like, you know what, I installed TVs. I'm a little league coach, and yeah. So if you guys need some child care, I'm your man. So here's my card. So his mom was like, you ain't got no shame. Like, dang, bruh. But I mean, I guess I'm not mad at the come up. Oh God. So the guy next to him, the family is, Caucasian. So they, introduce, each other, and he has this thick Trinidadian accent. And so they asked him, like, hey, where are you from, Trinidad? He was like, no, I'm from Tribeca. But Sylvia used to babysit me, you know what I'm saying, as well. So it's funny because you can see she's leaving an impact on these children. And that's probably, probably would have been Bash in the next 20 years. So it was funny to see to see that. That was hilarious. Okay. So during the whole sermon, your boy Bash, you could tell he is in tune, okay? He is with the spirit, okay? He is feeling all of the amens, the hallelujahs. I thought my man was going to catch the Holy Ghost, okay? Because he was into it. The mama looking like, what's going on with my son? Like, he done been here before. Like, Bash, he can do no wrong in my book, okay? So Sylvia, she has a son and two daughters, okay? They are in the front. And one of the daughters, Princess, she ain't feeling this situation. She is not as, positive as Khadijah. And yeah, she got a little little attitude. I'm like, okay, I guess, she's in mourning, so she's, entitled to kind of be upset. So they proceed to talk about the history of Sylvia. She was a dancer for Alvin Ailey. That's definitely a famous, dance theater in Harlem. And, just explaining her accolades and how she paid for, her family in the islands and had all of them come over. And one of her sons actually, no, her nephew plays for, I believe, the Patriots. So of course Miles, he was all, excited about that. But it's like, dang, y'all ain't know nothing about your nanny. Like, I'm sure something would have came up. I don't know. Like, they just seemed like they just played her to the left. And y'all just trusted pretty much a stranger with y'all son, okay? So the the dancers that was in the attendance, they actually was performing because that was one of Sylvia's wishes. And the daughter, she got fed up. She was like, you know what, I'm done. She went up there and took that microphone and started cursing everybody out. I'm done. This is BS, okay? Because you know what, my mama was over there taking care of other people's kids and left us out to dry. So her sibling was like, all right, calm down. Like, she was just providing. And she was like, hey, yo, to her bro, like, when you got jumped uptown, where was she at? When we got, our house broken into and they took my laptop, she was nowhere to be found, okay? So no, it was not all peaches and cream and oxtails and beef patties up in here, okay? Like, we had an issue. And I'm like, dang, like, I understood her point of view, but more so, I was taking the point of view of a mother because at the end of the day, she was just providing. Yes, you guys, experienced some sacrifices, but it was just like any, I won't say any other job because I'm sure being a nanny, it looks like she was a living nanny for, these, Caucasian families. But at the end of the day, she did all she could, to make sure her children had a good life. So it was kind of interesting to see this whole dynamic, with what these nannies and take care, caregivers, what they give and what they sacrifice for taking care of other people's children. Okay, so you know. Princess, she started a whole ruckus, okay? And everybody just started fighting. Sylvia's sister tried to open up, well, she opened up the casket, tried to get in, child. It was a lot. So Miles and Vashna was like, all right, it's time to go. And so Devin, her compare, he was like, stop, we're scaring the white people. So just when he said that, Miles and them was just at the door like, hey, we almost made a clean break. And so he was like, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to scare you. Are you guys scared? And he was like, no, we just had to go. And so Devin asked Bash, like, little man, are you scared? He was like, yes. He was like, it's okay. This is how we sad, this is how we mourn. So that was kind of a cute little situation. So we're in the car, they're on their way home, and Miles, he started singing, the Sweet TNT song. And so Brown and old bitter behind, she was looking at him like, you better stop. And I'm just like, oh, you just a little Debbie Downer. Like, oh, I didn't like her. So they're in bed, and your boy Miles has just really been, engulfed in the research in just the culture, and just trying to share it with Brown, and she is not trying to hear it, and she's also pondering the fact that, like, hey, I don't want our son to be like how Princess was. I don't want him to be mad that we're not there, because we've seen all episode, your girl, she never took her son into school. She didn't really know what he liked for breakfast. She didn't know how to soothe him to go to bed. Like, she didn't know her son, and she even know Sylvia. And so I'm hoping this, shined a light on your girl Brownie, because she was just disconnected, okay? And so, like 3 in the morning, it seems like it's 3 in the morning, okay? Knock, somebody knocking like the police, okay? And so he goes down, open the door, and Miles sees his package. It's more wrinkly, same package as before. Third attempt, nobody's nowhere to be found. Long hallways everywhere, not a footstep, not a trace of a human, nothing is going on up in here. So he decides to open the package, and it's pictures of Sylvia and Bash together because she showed up for picture day. And we just see him just kneeling on the ground. And I just wanted to know what was in his head, because most of the pictures were, pretty subtle. But that last little picture they showed, we saw your girl with a little with a little face like, I was here, you wasn't, y'all suck as parents. She probably had like a big, city girls period, okay, on her mind. Cause yeah, your girl Sylvia showed up, all right. But yeah, y'all, I felt this episode was definitely thought provoking. Atlanta has been doing a very great job. This is probably like one of my favorite seasons thus far. So only a few more episodes left, but let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. Toodles.